Hey guys, it's your boy McFinance and welcome to my YouTube channel. And on today's video, I'll be showing you guys how I approach my entries and how I get to have, what we call sniper entries, right? So if it's your first time on this channel, please do make sure to hit the subscribe button and also click on the notification bell to get notified next time I drop valuable content just like this one. So guys, if you can check my previous video, you would see that I caught my entries right here live with you guys, and I placed my stop loss right there, my targets right here. And as you can see, currently we just hit targets, and this was just a risk to reward ratio of 6.08, right? 1 is to 6.018. So what how do we actually enter how do we actually catch sniper entries? So I'll show you guys. Before we get into that, what I look for when I enter my entries, I look for reversals, right? It's either I'm looking for a double bottom, right? Or, and when we have a double bottom, I just easily identify my zone like that, right? And I'm gonna place my buy position right here, and then my targets all the way up there according to what the market is showing me, right? And then my stop loss just below that zone, right? Or I will be looking for a, sorry about that, so I'll be looking for a double top, right? Same sequence with the double top, just that you look for selling entries instead of buying entries, right? Or sometimes I look for patterns like these ones, which we call head and shoulders patterns, right? So then I place my entries right there. My stop loss just above the shoulder, or depending on what the market is giving me, and then my take profit all the way down, right? Depending on also what the market gives me, right? And then same goes with the inverse head and shoulder pattern, right? So I'll just remove this and show you guys the practical example in the real charts and show you guys how I approach these entries, right? So as you can see, guys, I've already identified my key market structures right here on the 4-hour time frame. Then once I'm done, I'm going to head over to the what? To the 1-hour time frame, right? Once we get to the 1-hour time frame, that's when we look for our confirmations. Okay, so I'll just wait for this to load up. Okay, perfect. So I either look for a double bottom or a head and shoulder pattern. But right here, I can see that we have a head and shoulder pattern, right? So I'm going to identify my head and shoulder pattern just like that. And boom, I can see that we had a spike to the downside. Then we had a head and shoulder pattern. So this could have been my entry confirmation somewhere around here, right? And then my targets all the way here on the 90% rule. Then yeah, just place my targets right there, and then my stop loss just right below there, just below this zone over here. And you can see this is a nice 6.4 risk to reward ratio. So moving to the other one, you can see that we have a head and shoulder pattern, right? You can see that we have something like this, right? And then once we have something like this, we will do what? We place our entries right here. Maybe if I had an entry right there, then my target's all the way right there. Then my stop loss would be just below this zone over here, and then my targets will be all the way up here. And you can see that we have a risk to reward ratio of 4.1, right? The market keeps on repeating itself. So let's head over to the next indice and let me show you guys how I keep on capitalizing on these indices, right? So I'm gonna head over to the 4-hour time frame. Firstly, we head over to the 4-hour time frame, guys. So on the 4-hour time frame, what do we see? So on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that I identified this structure right here. So we had the first touch, second touch on our resistance trend line. Then on our support trend line, we had our first touch and we had our second touch, looking to make a third touch. So what happened? I saw that we had a head and shoulder structure right here, right over here, there, there, there. You can see that we have a nice beautiful head and shoulder structure, and then we can catch our entries right there on the 1-hour time frame. So let's head over to the 1-hour time frame, and you can see, guys, so after this head and shoulder pattern, I saw that we had this young pattern right here, a continuation pattern, right? And then I just enter my trades right here. Once the market breaks the structure, place our entries, then stop loss just above there, and then my first take profit would be right about here. Yeah, somewhere around that area, this area, right? Then take my targets, place it there, and you can see that our risk to reward ratio is 1 is to 3.32, right? So this is an amazing risk to reward ratio. So guys, moving over to the next example. So I'm just going to take my trendline tool and identify my market structure, right? I have to identify my market structure first, right? And once I've identified my market structure, I'm going to head over to a 1-hour time frame, right? And once I head over to the 1-hour time frame, I'm just going to go back, and then I'm going to identify my reversals. But firstly, I'm just going to adjust this structure, adjust it right there, and then just do something like this, right? So you can see that we have our first touch right here, second touch, that touch, the market broke, but we broke with a reversal, right? So we had something like this, right, over like this, head and shoulder pattern, right? This, you can see that this is a head and shoulder pattern. So this is our left shoulder, this is our head, and this is our right shoulder. And once this is printed, we take our short position, our short two actually, right? Then we place it over there. Then our stop loss right above the right shoulder, right here. And then our target is to come over here on the 90% rule, like right here. So my targets would be somewhere around there, and then boom, this is a 1 is to 7.55 risk to reward ratio. You can see, guys, this, and like if you can check, most of them, they go straight into profits, guys. They don't like trickle and go back, but yeah, it's not always perfect, but most of the time it just goes straight into profit. So moving over to the next example, and yeah, guys, I just want you guys to understand this strategy on how to enter and master your entries, right? So if we can see, we just identified our structure on the 4-hour time frame, right? And once we're done with that, we head over to the what? To the 1-hour time frame. And once we go to the 1 hour time frame, we go to our structure, right? So on our structure, what can we see? We can see that we had a nice head and shoulder pattern, right? So this is our left shoulder, and this is our head, and this is our right shoulder, right? So this is actually called an inverse head and shoulder, right? So once we have this, um, once we have this, we place our entries right here, right? And then my targets would be to come right here, right? My targets would be to come right here. But you can have first targets, first TP, second TP, third TP, whatever. And my first target would be to come right here, right? So I'd place my entries right here, then stop loss just below right there, and then my targets all the way up there. But you can see, guys, we only hit our first targets and not our overall targets, right? So you can see that after hitting our first targets, the market started trickling and started trickling. And once you see this, this means that you should go out of your trades, right? So yeah, moving over to the next example. But this time, it's not a head and shoulders pattern. What do we see? So you can see that the market went down, went up again, came back down, then started shooting to the upside. So this is a double bottom, right? So this is a double bottom, and this structure, guys, was identified on the what? On the 4 hour time frame. And then we head down to the 1 hour time frame, and then we identified our entry confirmation. So here we had our first rejection, went up, came down, rejected again, then continued to go to the upside. So this right here, I'd place my entries right over here, right? Then my overall targets would be there, but this is why we have first TPs, second TPs, and third TPs, and so forth and so on, right? So this, my stop loss would be, so let me just place this right here, right? And then my stop loss would actually be below that zone. And then we can see that our first TP was hit, and then our second TP was also hit, but our overall TP was never hit, right? But you can see that we capitalized, and this was a nice 1:7.37 risk to reward ratio, right? And that is how you catch your sniper entries, guys. You can see that over here we went straight into profits. Over here we also went straight into profits, right? And yeah, if y'all learned something from this video, please do make sure to hit the like button, and also hit that subscribe button, and turn on your post notifications to get notified next time I drop valuable content just like this one. And as always, I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.